Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I'm bringing you another card. This is not a card that I created specifically for this season. This is a card that was created by another CM advisor who is a rock star in our CM community. Her name is Sachiyo Omitsu, and she comes up with some very, very cute things for the Creative Memories blog. And this is a card that was featured on the blog. Let me see if I can tell you when so you can take a look at it. And of course I cannot tell. Oh, it looks like it was in June. So if you want to try to find it, you can. She's got several examples of how to put it together. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a fun way to use this for the holidays. When I saw it, I saw snow globe, and so that's kind of what I was thinking of for this. I haven't really modified it into a snow globe, but you could easily modify this, I think, into a snow globe. So maybe you'll see that too. I'm going to use our border maker system, and this is the border maker that was recently a part of a freebie that was given out, and it's called the Elements Edge, but I just like it. I think it's very kind of artistic, and so this is the one we're going to use today in this project. And before we get started, I'm going to just move some of these embellishments to the side. These are some of the embellishments that came with our with our seasonal sightings collection, which is the new holiday collection that came out from Creative Memories and that I'm using today. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab my trimmer first off, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this. This card uses cardstock to create the card rather than using a blank card from one of our blank card kits, so that you know. And we're going to be using our trimmer to go ahead and cut that cardstock, and then we're going to use another one of our specialty blades to score the cardstock. So first we're going to cut a piece of cardstock that's 5.5 inches. And then go ahead and set that aside. And this is the new red that we just came out with, which is a really nice, bright cherry red, which is so fun. And then we're going to take that 5.5 inch piece, and we're going to cut a piece that is 6 7/8. So 7/8 is just 2 little tick marks before the main inch measure. So 6 7/8 is where we're going to go with that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my trimmer away because we are done with that for the course of for the time being. We're going to punch the edges of this piece. So I'm going to grab my border maker system. I'm going to punch the 5.5 inch edge of the cardstock, both sides. So what I want to do is go ahead and center it in here, and you can see marks on our guide that flips up so that you can see kind of where you will go to center your cardstock. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it with this finger, and then put my guard down so that it will hold on to my paper. We're going to punch this real quick. Then we're going to flip the paper over and punch the other side. And just, again, center it the best you can. Doesn't have to be exact, but just the best you can. And flip that back. And then we're just going to punch this side. All right. hopefully you are ready for the holidays because we have them just steamrolling in here. There's no holding back. All right, we're done with our border maker. So I'm just gonna set that right in there and get it kind of out of the way. I'm gonna grab my trimmer one more time and get my scoring blade from the back and swap it out for my straight blade so that I can score this. I'm going to score each of the punched sides at 1 inch. So I'm going to move this out so the top of my punch is at 1 inch. I'm just going to score that and flip it around and score it again at that 1 inch mark. Okay. Then I'm going to take my scoring blade out because you guys know how much I forget. And then I think I'm cutting one. It's not so bad when it's my scoring blade because I can just swap it out. But if I have a decorative blade in there and then I think I'm cutting straight, it can create some problems. So we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to just take this and I'm going to gently fold it up right on that scored line on both sides. Okay, just like so. Okay, there we go. Now, that is looking wider than I think it's supposed to be. So I wonder, well, I think it'll be all right. Okay. All right, so we are going to next cut some circles. So I'm going to grab this piece of designer paper that I pulled out. It's got these beautiful cardinals on one side, and then it has a sort of starry background on the other side. Remember how I was saying that it reminded me of a snow globe? This is why. All right, so I'm going to cut 2 circles, and I'm going to use, this is my medium circle pattern from our custom cutting system. I'm going to cut using my blue blade on the outside, and this is for the circle that I'm going to have on the outer flaps of the card. And actually, you know what? I believe I just did that incorrectly, but I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to that one for another card. I actually need the cardstock that I trimmed before, and we're going to cut that same size circle using this cardstock. Okay, so I have a blue blade circle out of the cardstock. And now what I need is 2 circles out of this paper that are using the green blade. Sorry about that, that's my bad. I suppose that's what I get for reading through the instructions and not working through the project before sitting down to record it for you. But I have faith it's all going to come together from here. Okay. like I was mentioning earlier, if you need printed instructions, you can get those off of the Creative Memories blog. And see, I think probably see Sachi doing the instructions for you. All right. So I want my dome, which is going to be a half circle, to have my stars going this direction. So I'm going to be cutting vertically through this way. And I want the same thing for my cardinals. So I'm just going to put my circles together so that I can cut them both at the same time, just stacking them. I don't know if you know this about the Creative Memories 12-inch cutter, but one of the great features about this is if you need to cut a circle in half, and we do for this design, you can just take your circle and using the bumper edges that are down here at the bottom or at the top, you just lay the edges of your circle along right at those points, and it will cut your circles right in half. So you have exactly even pieces. Ta-da! So really fun. I need to do the same thing with this circle. So I'm just going to again put the bases right on, or the edge of that circle right at the base at the bottom. And there's my cut circle right in half. No worries. This is an extra piece, so I'm going to move this out of frame so that we don't see it and wonder what we're doing. Okay. So now I'm just going to grab my adhesive. Notice I got my Happy Holidays adhesive out, which always makes me happy. And I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna decide which of these sides I like the best. So I need a top and a bottom that I think is the prettiest. I like, so this one matches this one really, really well, but I think I like this one best. And actually, I'm noticing that I cut one of these wrong, because when these open, they're going to open this way, and I want my birds to be vertical. Oh boy, here we go again. All right, we're going to cut one more of these. So I'm going to edit this out, but just so you know, I did cut I cut 2 circles that were not correct, not because I didn't cut the circle right. The first one I didn't cut the circle out of the right paper. This one I'm cutting again because I want to cut it in half a different direction. So previously I cut it so that my cardinals were going this way, but I want them to go this way on the flaps. So I'm going to cut this one vertically so that my cardinals are right side up on my circles. Okay. So it'll be a little bit fun editing this one for you guys, but that's okay. All right, now I'm going to take my red half circles, and I'm going to take my other half domes for some reason that doesn't look like it's fitting the way it ought to, which may mean that I cut it a little bit wonky, because it should be even the whole way around. All right, well, I'll fix it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this on. I don't know if maybe I had too much pressure on my blade or something, but it was just not. Like, it should be an even amount all the way around, so it's okay. So I'm just putting adhesive around the edges and a little bit along the straight portion. I'm going to make sure that my edge, that I have an even amount showing all the way around the edge. And see, this one is more even, so I don't know. That's odd. But this one I definitely need to trim. Let me trim this up really quick. This one, see, this one did much better. Still going to trim just a little bit off of it though. Just because my OCD is coming out. Okay, so let's see about adding on our inside. Yeah, see, that one looks much better. So this one with the cute little birds goes right on the inside. And then this one's going to be a little bit off. Okay, well, it is what it is. We can trim this one too. Just lining that up on my cutting line, and I'm going to trim that so it's all nice and straight. Alright, I'm going to set these aside because those were my mistake. Now, what we're going to do is put some repositionable adhesive on our swirlies that we created. Okay. And then our snow globe side is what's going to go out and I don't know if it's because I used a different punch or what, but I am going to have to do some trimming. I think Sachiyo mentions that she recommended that you do some trimming on her design as well. So okay, this one's going to go right at the fold. You put that straight edge right at the fold and center it, and then adhere it to that outside flap. Okay, now I'm going to grab my scissors and just trim this outside edge so that it matches my circle. On all four corners. Now here's what my card looks like. All right. And let me see what my dimensions are on this one, because I may have to use my envelope maker to create an envelope for this one. That is, it's 4.5, so it's going to be 4.5 by 5.5, so it's a little wider than your typical card. So if you're using this punch, I would say maybe score it at 1 1/8 inch instead of just 1 inch, and then that will give you more. It'll give you more of the traditional measurements. The measurements of a traditional card. I pulled this card out of the mat pack that goes with our seasonal sightings collection, and I thought it was cool because it has these journal lines and then the design down the side. And so rather than cutting just a piece of decorative paper to go in the center of this card, I am going to use this piece of matting to go in the center. And I am going to trim it right about here, which is the third line up from the bottom. That makes it easy. So we're just going to go ahead and trim that off. I'm going to save this. You never know, I might need it for another project at some point. We're going to just adhere this inside our card so we can write a special little note to the people that we're sending this to. All right, now that we've got that adhered, there's only one more thing we need to do, and that is add a couple of little embellishments. So let me pull up my embellishments back in, and we just need to add, we might add some bling, so I don't forget. I always forget the bling, guys. I'm going to add my little snowmen, and I'm going to pop them up, use some foam squares to pop them up, but and I want to have them on here in such a way that I can utilize them to help close my card. So I'm going to use this guy's arm and part of his body to help close my card, and we're going to put these guys on the front, just like that, I think. So I pulled out a couple of other items here just so you could see other options. You could certainly use the different birds on their greenery. You could use some holly. Holly would be cute, kind of on the front there like that. That would be really cute, actually. I like that. You could use a birdhouse. Maybe use the birdhouse on one and have it stick off just a little bit. Because the idea is that we're going to pop up our embellishment, and then because it is lifted, then it will help hold our card shut. So we're just going to use some small little foam squares to help secure our snow people. And I don't need to worry as much about this guy because he's going on the stable side. He doesn't have to worry about anything tucking into him, so no worries. But we'll put him on secondary watch so that we can get off. We can put him on where we want him after we've got this guy placed. Okay, so this guy is going to close like so, and I'm just barely putting his body and his arm over the edge of my card. And all my foam squares are out here on his body so that it will hold the card shut, just like that. Okay. So sorry about all of the mix-up on the cutting, but I think this is a very cute little card, especially with the birds. We've got birds on our snow people, we've got birds on the inside of our card, and the cute holly berries. And we can put our card back together. All right, so let's just add just maybe a little bit of something. I would love to use this red, but the red doesn't really match my red that's here. It will match, so the cardinal red is kind of matching this red. This red matches more his scarf, which would be okay to pull that color out. Or we could use green. I think I'm going to use green. Maybe. Maybe we'll use one of each. I'm just going to put a little tiny jewel. Again, I'm not really good at using these jewels. I need to do it more often. I'm going to put this kind of right up here. Right in that star that just happens to be over his shoulder. There's a star. I'm going to put this one on this side. Up here by this cute little birdie. If I can get him there. My nails just make it really hard to do sometimes. All right. Okay. So there's 1, 2, and maybe we'll just add, I don't want to add a pearly white one. I think it's going to get lost. Maybe I'll add a little gold one for some additional bling. Where should it go? Maybe right here in the middle. Like that. We could add a little Merry Christmas. Just grab our pen and write it in there. Let me grab my pen. And we can say, have a frosty Christmas. I don't know. Well, I'm going to write Happy Holidays right here. Happy Holidays. And that's that. Happy holidays, everybody. Wishing you many more creative moments. Have a great day.